Welcome to the Elevating La Cultura podcast, a space where I talk with Latinas who are passionate about what they do and are willing to share that passion with others to change the narrative, especially for the next generation. Each season is centered around different topics, but all with the Latina perspective. Welcome to Season 9, where we will talk about reflecting on personal stories and letting our brilliance shine. I'm so excited to share these powerful conversations. So vámonos, and let's get into it. Bienvenidas to a new season. I'm Karina, host of the Elevating La Cultura podcast. I wrapped up Season 8 at the end of last year, where we had some great guests who shared insight and the ins and outs of pursuing higher education and corporate positions. I know it's been a longer break than usual, and I've missed not recording for the past 4 months, but I had lots of things going on here in Chicago, including our very first one-day summit. I collaborated with fellow podcaster Giovanna Rosales from Making Leader Moves, who was actually on last season, Episode 86. We came together to host an amazing one-day summit all about tech, finance, and entrepreneurship called Latina Brilliance. We sold out our first event. We got amazing feedback, and so we're doing it again. Stay tuned for more details. I was also part of the Viva la Mujer market team this year. Viva la Mujer is an annual market during Women's History Month that offers a positive, uplifting environment and that champions women artists, crafters, and small businesses. This is the biggest this event has been, with over 60 vendors and over 1,000 attendees. It was amazing. Shout out to Suheidi from Mestiza Shop, who brought me, and Xochitl from Work Mija onto the team to make this the best Viva la Mujer market yet. Between the summit and the market, your girl was busy. But over break, y'all kept listening and catching up on past episodes, bringing us to over 6,800 downloads. That's over 1,000 downloads while we were on break. Muchísimas gracias for continuing to listen and share with your community. And if you're new here or haven't listened to the past 8 seasons, welcome. You can binge listen to all the seasons with Season 1 featuring Latina entrepreneurs, Season 2 highlighting Latinas in the health and wellness space, Season 3 with Latina educators, Season 4 focused on artists and creators, Season 5 is a mini season where I share more of my personal story, Season 6 highlights Latinas in the food and culinary space, Season 7 showcases creatives, and finally Season 8 with all my corporate and higher education jefas. Each season elevates different stories, but all with the Latina perspective. We all have passion in our areas of expertise while also pouring into the next generation. Because honestly, and I say this all the time, it starts with us being willing to put in the work to make generational change. When I was thinking about the topic for this season, I was like, I've done pretty much all the topics. I've also been getting pitches from more brilliant Latinas via LinkedIn, Instagram, website, in person, all the ways. And I wanted to create a season that could feature an array of positions and areas of expertise. So after thinking about it for a while and after an amazing one-day summit, and as I started recording, all of these Latinas are showcasing and sharing their brilliance, their Latina brilliance. And I know it's a little cheesy, or as my kids say, cringe, but for real, the chingonas that I've interviewed so far for this season are truly making moves and changing the narrative for the future generations. And it's because of their lived experiences, their stories, that have impacted them in a way that has propelled them forward. One thing I've started consistently doing in my own life and also in the Showing Up Latina in Business mentorship program is celebrating our wins. We go from one thing to the next and often don't stop to realize all of the major and minor things we're accomplishing. And if I reflect on this as Latinas, it's this cultural idea that perhaps we've come to believe that we aren't worthy of celebrating or being celebrated, but rather that all of the things we accomplish are expected. At least that has been my experience. Take a minute to think about that. I knew that if I wanted to change this cultural norm for my kids, I had to shift it in my own life. Culturally, as women, we didn't see previous generations of women being celebrated. So we are learning to do that for ourselves in order to instill it in future generations. My guests are all doing amazing things, and I'm celebrating all of their stories, all of their accomplishments, and all of their growth. So as you listen to this season, I hope you feel inspired and encouraged and think about what in your life brings you joy or is something that you can celebrate, big or small. Spring is a time of growth. And as we look ahead to our goals for the rest of the year, let's not forget to celebrate ourselves. Celebrating others comes much easier, but celebrating ourselves is a little harder because it takes a bit of vulnerability, reflection, and for us to be proud of ourselves. Since I'm a mom, I realized that it was so easy to celebrate my kids, to pour into them, to make sure they knew their value and worth. Yes, this is a way many of us are shifting for our kids, but if I want them to continue this practice as they grow up, they need to see me celebrating my own brilliance so they know to celebrate themselves, not just others. It's a muscle worth strengthening. I believe in us. We could do this. I'm so excited to bring you these amazing conversations. There will be a new episode every Tuesday, so after you listen, feel free to take a screenshot, post on Instagram, tag @elevatinglacultura, or send me a DM. You can also comment on our YouTube if you're watching online. I always like to hear from people and how they resonate with the stories that I share. So leave a review on Apple Podcasts so we can get more ears listening to these stories and we can continue elevating la cultura. And if you haven't already, check us out at the Elevating La Cultura group on Facebook. We also host monthly Comadre networking events, so if you're in Chicago, join us for one of those. All upcoming events can be found on the website elevatinglacultura.com. All right, enjoy the rest of the day, afternoon, evening, whenever you're listening. Y nos vemos next week with our first guest for Season 9. Bye.